Moto America Super Sport race bike. It's a 2014 MV Agusta F3 675. That's exactly what that is.
Wow, it's a beautiful bike. It's got all the Corsa parts on it.
Yeah. It's if I totaled it up, and I scare myself when I do this, but it's 40 grand to build one of these bikes, and we had two.
Yeah, so, my buddy's got a Ducati. He races for. He does endurance racing. So they've raced Lamborghini. He won his category last year, and Lamborghini agreed to give him a new car. But the other thing that he has is a motorcycle, and he took me into his little store. It's an indoor carpeted room with his Ducati in there.
We hold these things in pretty high regard. I've got a couple of Ducatis, and I have a Moto Guzzi, which you don't see very often. And so, we treasure them. But I mean, this is like my kid's rolling museum is what you're basically looking at. And it's got a brand new fresh engine in it, but it'll never run again. I'm not interested in that. I just want to have, I'll have that carpeted room that you're speaking of, and that's where it'll end up.
Awesome.
So you mean it's just going to be sitting there for you to look at, and you're never going to start the engine up going, and you're never going to drive it on the street or anything like that?
No, it's actually there for me and all you guys to look at now. So
oh wow, very cool.
I built his bikes. So when we last stopped riding, he had actually had some engine troubles with this bike, and so I tore it down and rebuilt it back to factory fresh. And then he wasn't really interested in racing anymore, and it was a seriously expensive endeavor as it was anyway. And I was okay with it. You know, he did it for 10 years. He got out of it without serious injuries. And I was good. He learned a lot from it, from the experience, you know, but he's a great kid. He's a go-getter, and, you know, racing will teach you stuff like that.
You bet.
Well, that's really cool. Anyway, let me interrupt you a little bit. Let me say hello to everybody who is tuning in right now. Welcome everybody to Thinking Out Loud with Friends. We're calling it what? You got to be kidding me. So there's the title of the show. So now you know where it comes
from. This is $199, Jan.
199. I can't believe it. When we started this and COVID, I never thought it would last, you know, as long as it has, but it's one of my avocations, and I love it. And even though I have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to join you guys at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I hate daylight savings time. Anyway, going on with, just remember, everything you hear today is an opinion. We have a new guest today, a new member on the panel, Bernie Broderick. And Bernie, you can introduce yourself or not, and then we'll talk about what we want to talk about. I believe I don't want to blow your intro because I've only heard amazing things about you.
There's no spoilers. No, I mean I've been working around this industry for quite a few.
We got muted here. He got muted somehow. That's one of the problems we're using the iPhone.
Are you there, Bernie? You're muted.
Yeah, Bernie, we lost Bernie's audio.
You just got muted.
Yeah, and it's probably your AirPods. Probably just lost their battery, I guess.
So what I did, Bernie, I just had the same issue. I don't know if you're on a computer or on an iPad, but I touched my own video, and then I muted myself and then unmuted myself, and that got me back. Oh, now he's muted.
Now he's muted.
Let's unmute. And working any better? No, doesn't look like it.
Okay, so what's happened? What's probably happened is he's lost his Bluetooth connection with the AirPods on the computer. That's what you should look into, and I'm sure you'll come back in with us at any moment in time. Well, while we're waiting for Bernie, let me just keep going on and saying, hey, so everything you hear today is an opinion. Make sure you do your own research. You're more than welcome to join us. I highly recommend that anybody on the panel tags themselves on the show on either Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, and we'll take it from there. Today, I got amazing news, and I did not know this, but our YouTube stats, we have 1.2 thousand views of 30 minutes. That's blowing my mind. And then on the activity aspect, last week on LinkedIn, we had 336 impressions of the show, and we have now 3,356 followers. And you know what the most amazing part is? Not one comment, not a comment. Nobody says anything. So what's going on out there with you people? You know? Unbelievable. No comments. You know, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. You know.
Yeah,
So, Bernie, are you back? Can we hear you now?
No.
No. I don't know what kind of computer you're on, but whatever it is, what I would do is shut your shut the Bluetooth off, and go to the if you're on a Mac, use the Mac microphone. That's what I would do. Shut the Bluetooth off and just use the or take your AirPods out, AirPods out and put them back in the case.
Take the iPad out of your ear and place the.
Oh, if you're on an iPad, you can use the iPad speaker, the iPad speaker, and the microphone will be fine. That's what Greg does, right, Greg? All right.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Bears again. What the hell's going on around here? You know. So anyway, I just wanted to report, you know, coming from Las Vegas the way I do. Steve Lawrence died at 88. You know, him and Edie Gourmet, you know, they were a pair, all right. I got to see them perform a few times, and of course, they used to hang out on the telethon and stuff. So for all you old timers, you know, but also, you know who else passed away this week? Eric Carmen, who was the lead singer of the Raspberries, and he had the hit "All by Myself" and "Hungry Eyes." He was 74. So, R.I.P.
Big
there.
Cleveland guy.
Yeah. Oh, there you are.
Nope.
So, Greg, you use the microphone on your iPad, right? And the speakers?
Right. Yep.
Okay.
That's all I use. When it comes up for the microphone, it says, "Do you want to use Wi-Fi for your audio?" And I say, "Sure." And that's it.
Bernie, you back?
Yeah, Bernie, I think you may need to exit the Zoom call and then come back in order to get the new audio settings.
All right. Well, anyway, he'll be back. In the meantime, so we were talking about NASA offline, but the reason why that picture in our logo is because NASA's mission, which is slated for October, will send the spacecraft to Jupiter's moon Europa. And they have figured out that it is possible that there is a life there, because they believe that there's water there and an ocean. And so I don't know if people could live in that horrible environment, but
I'm telling you, I was swimming there once. It was terrible. It was cold.
Yeah, and the portions were small. Unbelievable.
Yeah, the food. The hotel was a disaster.
Yeah, Europa.
Yeah, the Europa Hotel, obviously, on Europa.
I'm giving them a bad rating on Airbnb, that's for sure. They'll never, I want my money back, I tell you, I'm in an Airbnb right now, which is really quite nice here in a city called Huahin, spelled Huahin. You could Google map it. It's really nice up the coast.
Okay, we got Bernie back. Now you just have to unmute yourself, and I think you're good. Oh. No.
Well, we got to keep moving. I can't figure out what's going on with Bernie from here, but I'm sure he's a smart guy. He's going to figure it out.
He will.
So, did anybody watch the Oscars?
A little tiny bit, Jan. A little tiny bit.
Yeah, I did. I liked it, actually. And
how come your video's not on, Greg?
There it is.
There you are.
I was laying down on the couch. So
you handsome son of a bitch. We want to look at you. That's it.
No, I like the Oscars, actually. I thought it was really well done.
If you think you're 1 in a million, Greg, there were 19 more of you watching at the same time. 19.5 million viewers. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I like that that Ryan Gosling music number.
Yeah, I Am Ken.
I thought it was good. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with Billie Eilish. I don't get the love of Billie Eilish. Maybe somebody else can tell me.
She's got a great voice.
Very it seems like that kind of ballad stuff is not for me.
Yeah, but she also sang last year. She got one for the James Bond movie, or maybe 2 years ago she got it.
Yeah, she's pretty amazing. I mean, she's come a long way in a really short period of time. Her and her brother, they're pretty amazing. I mean, she's done well. She's done well.
I tell you what, with that song that she sang at the Oscars, that would be hell to do live. If you're doing it like an arena tour with it, like just breathless. Well,
that's how all her songs are.
Yeah.
So the orchestra sorry, Greg, carry on.
No, I just said the signal to noise ratio had to been cranked up. So
yeah, it must be hard to mix her.
So I was listening to the start, Jan, because I am going to watch the whole thing, but I watched about half an hour at the end because and I saw a bit of the start, but I was too tired. I was going to watch the whole thing, and but I was the band is live, isn't it? The orchestra is live in another room. Is that correct?
But actually in a balcony above the stage.
Yeah, radio. I was impressed, and I know we're listening to the telly, and it goes through many, many electrons to get to where I am, but I was impressed with the detail and the smoothness of the band playing. I didn't hear any of the performances. I'm just talking about the one, whether it's a backing track or whatever, I don't know, but I thought it was a live band because it was an orchestra. It was.
Yeah, I may be incorrect, but I think Mix Mobile did that. Jan, do you know who did the mobile for the?
I do not know, but I would be very surprised if Mike Abbott wasn't involved in it, and A2K. They've been involved in it. I mean, look, this is the #1 show of its kind, the granddaddy of them all, and they've got the best people working on it for sure.
The quality.
Yeah, David would know. I think, if David pops in, he'd probably know. But I think
David should probably pop in. I think David's available. Kenny's probably on his way right now to Las Vegas to do Manilow this week. Kurt just texted me. He's going to be coming in again in a few minutes. He's checking into the hotel, so he'll be live with us shortly. And of course,
when is David going on his cruise? Do you remember? Is it next week?
No, not next. I think it's not till the middle of the month.
Oh, okay. Because just a huge rock and roll cruise just finished up. I know a couple people that were on that one.
I would think it's a moneymaker, those kind of things, because that's the perfect people who are looking to get away, and then they like the music of our generation. So they've got the money to do it, and then cruising is big. And some of these new ships are really floating, megatropolises. They're not even cities anymore. They can handle 8,000 people or something crazy like that. Go figure. It's nuts. So speaking of nuts, this is an amazing statistic. This was on NBC News and from a Gallup poll. And basically they're saying now women ages 18 to 26, which would be Gen Z, nearly 30% identify themselves as LGBTQ. That is insane. That 30% of Gen Z women are not that there's anything wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that it's really changed since I was a kid, you know, or maybe not. Maybe they just didn't
there's
have
a lot
Gallup
of
in those days.
Can you guys finally hear me, by the way?
Yay! He's
Yes,
back
we
on.
hear you.
Yes,
Yay.
So to answer all your questions, I was in the trail. I was on a MacBook, and for whatever reason, I could not change the microphone. No matter what I selected or what I did, I was not getting any microphone input into the computer at all. So I had to do a last minute grab some stuff, come into the shop, and get it going in here. And I get all the way in here, and I get it all set up here, and it says, you have to go back to the other device to allow that to be changed over to this device. I run back out to the trailer again. You know how it goes. But I've used this computer many times to do this, so I'm sure we'll be fine from here.
Well, there you go. And welcome. Ken Porter just came into the room. I just got text from Kurt Hare. He's on his way. So Bernie,
Excellent.
You were just about to introduce yourself. So go ahead. Come back. Come back.
Kind of like
Bernie.
him.
Come back.
I may be obscure to some people, but a lot of people, including Ken, we've been around each other for a minute. Yeah, so I've spent my entire life in this industry, you know, and Ken knows me best from back in the acoustics days, and then onward through EAW. So I worked a lot of years with manufacturers, and I was watching the clock kind of ticking away on my career, and about 4 years ago, I decided I just wanted to break away and do something on my own, you know, make that my swan song instead of, you know, getting the watch and the swift kick in the pants going out the door kind of thing. So, yeah, so a long career in audio, owned a sound company myself for a number of years, originally from Canada, you know, front of house sound engineer for years, manufacturer's, you know, employee for many years with L Acoustics and EAW. And now here I am doing my own thing.
So tell us what it is, you know, what is it you're doing? And I think that your company is called TCM. Is that what you call the company?
No, the company's called Truth and Audio.
Truth and Audio.
Yeah.
Well, what is TCM then?
Product that you guys kicked in a conversation there a week or so ago is called TCM. And that's one of the products that I've got out right now. And so basically, one of the reasons why I wanted to do Truth and Audio, as I just explained, is I just wanted to have a maybe very varied swan song, and I wanted to create some stuff that was kind of maybe I saw needing or lacking or whatever in the industry. And of course when you work for a big brand or something like that, your ideas are shared, valued, but not necessarily relevant to the company and the company's business. So sometimes you just got to put your money where your mouth is and go out and try things on your own, and hopefully introduce something or maybe many things into the market that are all of a sudden needed. And so that's basically what I've done with Truth and Audio, is tried to create a company that makes unique stuff, you know, like not looking for the big mass market windfall or anything like that. Just want to have some fun.
So tell me, what is it now? You're working on a project that has network switches. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I was going to say this when we were noodling around before you started the broadcast. So I'm the UI guy in this TCM product category. So I'm the user interface guy. I don't do the electronics. That's handled by others. And so my whole concept and idea was, after, you know, many years of touring, being introduced into network PAs originally back in 2012, you know, when we were coming out with the EAW Anya system, I got thrown in the deep end of networking sound systems and working on that stuff. And that was all well and good. As time went on and I started having more and more opportunities to be on the show site, out with crews and everything, I started to just kind of formulate this opinion that maybe we haven't addressed networking from a hardware aspect. We've done lots of digital electronic, you know, advancement with networks. They do crazy things and really, really help us. But I wasn't seeing anybody really take up the charge to say, how do we actually use this stuff in the field? How do we carry it? How do we hook it up? Because a lot of guys that I would work with on the road were all being introduced to this at the same time. Most of us here are probably still like an NLA kind of guy. I just want to plug in my speaker cabinet and have it turn on. And that's very, very real. And the roadblock that I was seeing was nobody had really kind of distilled this down from a stagehand or an audio crew or whatever, from their perspective, to work on how I can interface myself with this stuff. How easy can I put this stuff together? How repeatable is it? How many accessories and options do I have with doing networking? Because if you strip all that out, what you're left with is either something sitting on top of a road case, or something that you had to build at the shop in a rack, and you had to vet out the cables and do all that sort of stuff, which is all well and good if it's a fixed rack. But what I did with TCM was I put all that in a box, put everything in a case, a little case. And it basically is like a grab and go utility that you can use for, whatever networking applications you may have. And then came up with a bunch of accessories, ways to attach it to sound systems, rack sleeves that you could put the stuff in, C-clamps that you can attach to it and hang it from a truss if you need to do distributed networking around a truss. And all of this, in one way or another, could be handled in a proprietary fashion inside of a production company with some chops. They can do these things, but nothing is in the market that could just do it all. You could just buy it, get the accessories, and just go out and do it. Whatever you